Welcome back to another episode of Sideline and Punchlines with your host Bowen and Mark. What
Yes,
is
sir.
going on? Yes, sir. So today we're gonna have another episode. It's our second. Super excited. But before we start, Marcus has a little information he wants to share with everybody.
Man, I was just gonna tell the audience. Me and Bowen sit down for 20 minutes before we do a pod, kind of just discuss the itinerary, what have you. And he could have let me know that my hair was looking like that last pod, but he decided to let me go the whole episode looking like a homeless woman, man. So we got the hats on today, trying to be a little more professional, even though some people might think hats aren't professional, but hey. And then I just wanted to apologize for the wait to the audience. We had some technical difficulties. Bowen was on vacation. But back to your regular scheduled programming. Episodes on Sunday. Just like, subscribe, comment. But yeah, man, let's jump into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've had a lot of controversy on the channel, but we love it. We love to hear people's voices, opinions, and that also helps us and helps us work on our craft as well. But today we're going to switch things up a little bit. I know we started last week off with the NBA. This week, Mighty Mark has some interesting takes. I'm super fired up, super excited. I got to watch some of the NFL games over the weekend and some of the highlights. So, Mark, let's get going.
Yeah, man. Like you said, we're gonna jump into the NFL right away, just because had a lot of playoff games over the weekend. A lot of information came out about head coaching availabilities and coaches stepping down, fired, what have you. But we'll start off with the biggest ones in the AFC North, with Harbaugh and Stefanski being fired, let go of their jobs, but Mike Tomlin steps down as the head coach from the Steelers after 18 years, longest tenured coach in the league,
Right.
One of the most respected coaches in the league.
Absolutely.
So what do you think are the next steps for those teams? Where do you think they look for hires? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. With Harbaugh being fired, I think that sends a big message to Lamar. I know we talked, on our retake before.
Yeah.
It sends a message to Lamar as far as like, hey, even though you didn't get along with the coach, right, and you guys weren't on the best terms, we will make a decision like that, right?
Yeah.
And throughout the season, at least this season, there were talks about Lamar not living up to expectations. Yes, I mean, he can get the individual accolades and things like that, but at the end of the day, we play sports to win, right, at the highest level, and we just haven't simply seen that. And so I believe next season, going into it, if they get off to a slow start or they get off to a hot start and slow down, there will be some trade talk rumors, and I see them pursuing it possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as the Ravens and Harbaugh goes, I think he was the second longest tenured coach at 17 years. Like I said, Mike Tomlin was at 18, but
18, yeah.
it just goes to show, like, sometimes you just need a change of voice, change of scenery,
Yeah.
even if that coach is sentimental to the team. It just, there was reports coming out of Baltimore of a really credited beat writer saying, like, Lamar is up late night playing video games, falling asleep in team meetings. I know Lamar denies that. I mean, like, you're not going to admit to stuff like that. So
Do you believe that though?
Honestly, he's a really credited beat writer. They don't just write that to write that. Like, that information comes from somewhere, like,
Right.
inside in house. So if that person is lying, I guess that could be the case. But I think the Ravens made the right decision. Like, are you gonna stick with your 18-year head coach with one Super Bowl, playoff loss after playoff loss since 2017? Yeah, going back to 2017. It just is the most catastrophic, like, ways to end games for them come playoff time. Like, if it's a missed field goal, or Mark Andrews last year not catching the ball.
Right.
Back in 2017. Go ahead.
Is that more on Harbaugh though, or is that not on Lamar though for not living up to those expectations? I mean, a great regular season is one thing, but a great playoffs, that's what makes or breaks you as a star.
Yeah, no, I 100% see what you're saying. It definitely falls on Lamar's hands because he's the quarterback. He's the point guard, if you will, of the team. So, and his playoff or the way he plays in the playoffs is not how he plays in the regular season.
That's a big deal.
Going back to, I think, his rookie year or second year when he was,
I believe it was the second.
When they were the best team in the league, number one in the AFC, get the bye. You go to play the Titans and you just skunk the bed, and it's just, you know what I mean. So
is that back when Tannehill was the quarterback?
yeah,
You see, I think that you can give Lamar a pass because of his age, but
Hmm.
at the same time, it's the Titans, right?
Yeah.
At least the Ravens, during Harbaugh's stint, they were credited for their defense. They were gritty. They had a
Hmm.
presence. They had a culture. When I look
100%.
at the Ravens, don't get me wrong, they're fun to watch. But as far as like, can this team get it done? I think it's always left at a question mark. Like, this is great, but can they?
Yeah. No,
Um,
I 100% agree. I think they made the right choice in like, okay, are
mhm.
we gonna get rid of our 28-year-old two-time MVP, all
Yeah,
pro,
yeah,
all generational quarterback, or are we gonna try to find a new head coach that can resonate with this guy and take those next steps forward to get to a Super Bowl because
yeah,
Lamar's too good not to be playing in or not to have gotten to one Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And if there's
yeah.
gonna
And
be
I'm
a
not trying. Yeah, I'm not trying to come off like that. Like, oh,
no,
he
no, I
doesn't
know.
deserve.
Yeah,
But
100%.
so what's the difference between him and Stefanski's fire?
Um, I think just the difference is Stefanski failed with Baker. He failed with Deshaun. He failed with, these other quarterbacks that he's had.
Mm,
Not to say it's all Stefanski's fault because the Browns never have talent. The Browns are the Browns. You know what I mean? Like
but we have seen.
it's gonna be hard for any coach to go in there and do that. Have success, especially with a team with no talent. You have to have talent. Like you could put Bill Belichick in there, and
Yeah,
I don't think anything would happen. I mean, look what Bill Belichick's doing with University of Carolina right now. They are bad. But I
true.
mean, I think that's just the difference. But I mean, going on to Mike Tomlin, for me, it's a little sad. My whole family's Steelers fans, so I've been
Right.
watching Mike Tomlin coach for a while now, since I was 9 years old.
Right.
So, but it's just sometimes a time comes a time. You know what I mean? Like, nothing lasts forever. He actually stepped down as head coach. He wasn't fired, so the team has his rights still, and someone will have to trade for Mike Tomlin.
I think that's big time too.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's you don't really see that much, but I think that was kind of Mike Tomlin's last little like
Hurrah.
handout. Like, hey, I'll step down. Don't fire me, so at least you can trade for me and get something for the team. Kind of his last hand in the door, if you will. But
Yeah. And we kind of talked off air about this too. You know, I don't think he should sit out a year or, kind of wait for this. I think the Steelers or Tomlin himself should go out there and look for a job, because, styles change and people
mhm,
are quick to copy these trends. If it works, they want to do the same thing that works. And
right,
so if they find another coach who brings something new and it ends up thriving, I mean, Tomlin could possibly be out of a job. It's not like the Steelers have had, a bunch of success past the Ben Roethlisberger years so far.
yeah.
So, I definitely believe that he should get his foot in the door in something before it's too late. But
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one last point before we move on is
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting that all three of those coaches in the North are out of jobs. So like, there's just a greater chance that one of them is gonna go to another
Mm.
team, and that would kind of be like must see TV because they play each other twice a year. And um, but any final points from you before we move on? Or
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, if you had to choose which coach, like, most likely would enter
Mhm.
into a divisional rivals team, which one? Like, most likely.
I would say Harbaugh to the Ravens,
Really?
just because he hasn't had a quarterback in so long that
Yeah.
he's probably just dying to have one.
Yeah.
So I would say Mike Tomlin to the Ravens, or I guess maybe Stefanski, but I think the Ravens would probably hire Mike Tomlin before Stefanski. But
And
that's just my
what would he bring and what would he do for not only the Ravens but for Lamar? Joining a team like this.
yeah.
What does Tomlin bring?
Just a new voice in the locker room, someone
Right.
to these players play for their head coach, and sometimes that just wears off over time. And Mike Tomlin demands respect more than anybody in the league, I would imagine. So
Yeah.
I would say that, and then just defensively,
Okay.
the Ravens kind of weren't at their best defensively this year. Like, granted,
Yeah.
they were hurt and banged up, but the signs there were early when they were healthy. I mean, their first playoff game, they give up 40 something points to the Bills when they were up like two scores late in the
Right.
game.
Right.
So I just think kind of from that aspect, but.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Speaking of coaches being fired, Mike McDaniel was let go from the Dolphins after I think it was 3-4 years there. Had some success, but again, and like injury riddled and not really enough talent. but where do you think Mike McDaniel lands? Do you think he lands an offensive coordinator job or another head coaching job, or what are your thoughts on that and the Dolphin state?
I think he'll find his way back onto another organizations. I wouldn't say they're going to rush him for a head coach. I like the other three a little bit more than him, or a lot more,
Yeah.
I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more about what the Dolphins are going to do. I think they're going to look to, either rebuild. If I was, the GM of the team, I'm looking at the quarterbacks that are available right now. There's a lot of young talent that is sitting down on people's benches that had the opportunity to play due to injuries. And
Oh
so I
yeah.
would love for them to shop around for a Mac Jones. We got Willis. Who
Ooh,
was that
Malik.
other
Yeah.
quarterback that came in? I like, Kyler Murray if they just wanted to bring in another body.
Yeah.
Brissett, depending on what he does in Arizona, whatever direction they decide. And,
Interesting.
see what they do with Tyreek Hill. But I definitely believe they should be going full on rebuild mode and
Hmm.
trust the process.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm kind of right there with you with the rebuilding. I mean, I think we all know Tua's not going to be back.
No.
No quarterback in their QB rooms. The answer.
And what was
I
your
like.
fantasy name, by the way? Because you keep talking about Tua.
Oh,
Talking
we're not
Tua.
going to say my fantasy name on air,
No, I'm just kidding.
but
Talking
yeah, no,
Tua.
I mean, I'm 100% with you. I think they should start rebuilding. You don't know how Tua's going to come back, or not Tua.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek after he snapped his leg like he did. He's
Uh,
also on the older end.
mm-hmm.
They do have the running back. They have another great wideout, but there's just not enough talent. I mean, they have some pieces on defense, just not a lot. But as far as Mike McDaniel, I would love him in Philly.
Yeah.
He's a great offensive mind. He comes from that, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur tree,
Mm-hmm.
So I would love him in Philly just because I know he could elevate our offense because you saw how he elevated Tua before Tua had all those concussions.
Right.
And when they were thriving at their best, when they, put up 73 points in a game against the Denver Broncos.
Right.
So I would like Mike McDaniel in Philly. I would say he probably lands a coordinator job before a head coach, but he
Mm-hmm.
definitely has all the respect to be a head coach, I think. I do
Mm-hmm.
like Harbaugh and Tomlin probably a little more just because of the,
Right.
I don't want to say aura, but I think they can just maybe get a little more out of their players. And it might
Right.
sound a little like weird for me to say, but Mike McDaniel's not like a big guy. So he's kind of a little guy in the
Right.
locker room. So these big football players maybe kind of look, what I mean? Like, I don't know if
Look past
that's,
him.
yeah, what I mean? Like, you have to
No, for sure.
imagine, you have to imagine that sometimes that might be the case, but
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. Like I said, I think Mike McDaniel would be a great hire for Philly. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
all right, sticking in the AFC side of things, how do you assess Shador's season this year with the Browns? Shador Sanders, and should he be the starter going forward? Do you think?
Well, if you go off of just what they did for the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because when you
Yeah.
look at paper, Dylan Gabriel's actually the better quarterback. He has a higher QBR. He has a
Mm-hmm.
better completion percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now his interceptions, right, was lower, and I'm gonna have to double check, but I believe he had more yards as well.
Yeah, I think he also played maybe a game or two more. I'd have to double check that,
Right,
but
right. With that being said, though, if you take a look at the game and you actually watch the game,
Mhm.
Shador looked like the guy that I'd want to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
he's willing to risk it, right, to win it. And to
Mhm.
me, you can't knock a guy who's willing to risk it to win it. I know there's some people you can look at and be like, okay, like they're doing this too much, like a Jameis Winston, right? I mean, that
Mhm.
man, he could throw for 40 touchdowns in a season, but he's also going to give you 17 to 20 interceptions, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Shador gives you something that's just box office, showtime. Hey, look at me, right?
Yeah.
We
He
love
brings
that.
attention. He brings attention to the Browns.
Absolutely. And it's like, I would see I would explore it for sure, but I
Mhm.
can't say that I can be upset for them starting Dylan off of just what they gave us. I would
Absolutely.
talk to Dylan and, Caleb, for instance, when he started the season, right, he was showing these little check downs, right? Little quick passes, right?
Mhm.
Ben Johnson got in there and said, hey, man, you got to fling that thing. right? You got to
Yeah.
get out there. You got to take some more risks. Fans were calling for it, right?
Hmm.
And I think Dylan, maybe didn't have that talk, and I also think the media was getting to him. So he was like, "Hey, man, I'd rather be safe than sorry." Whereas
A little,
Shadur,
little more conservative.
exactly. Where
Yeah.
Shadur, he's already used to the pressure. He's like, "Man, this is nothing. I'll go for it,"
Right.
you know. And so I think Dylan still deserves that opportunity. You have next season. It's not like the Browns are going for it next year. You
Hmm.
experiment. You see, hey, this is a battle nonstop. Let's see what you guys got, and you move on from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you. Shador ended the season with 1,400 yards, 7 TDs, 10 picks, and a QBR of 19. He did have a
Right.
really nice game. I think it was against the Titans. He had 364 passing
It
yards,
was
three
beautiful, by
TDs.
the way. I mean,
I think
against
it was an
Cam.
interception, but when you're throwing that many passes,
Thank
I
you.
mean, an interception's fine. But
Art, speak up.
but I think we both need to, or not both of us, but I think we all need to kind of like remember like these are rookies. They're gonna be they're rookies on the Browns.
Hmm.
It's not gonna look pretty. So I think the
Absolutely.
Browns going back to head coaching. I think they just need to bring in somebody that's going to elevate Shador, first and foremost.
Right.
Like a guy like Mike McDaniel or some of these other cats that are out there. Just someone to elevate these guys' play and hit on draft picks, get talent in the room. Hopefully, Miles Garrett has a good, 4 years left in the tank.
Yeah.
But I do think that I can't sit here and say that does he deserve to be the starter. He definitely deserves to be in contention, like in the QB room, like during training camp and OTAs, taking first team reps, taking second team reps, and just competing for the job. I think he's earned the right to compete for the job. Like I don't think anyone can say that. But
Yeah.
to say does he deserve the starting, I just don't think we've seen enough. Which isn't necessarily his fault because they didn't start him right away. And they also took. I mean, there's a reason they took Dylan before him. I
Right.
mean, if it was like, even if it was, out of spite, but we'll just have to really wait and see. To be
I
honest with you.
I do want to ask too, real quick. When you look at Cam Ward, for instance, right? Do you say the same thing about like, hey, remember he's just a rookie?
Yeah,
Because
because I mean, he
yeah,
didn't have. I mean, he had. Again, it's kind of the same situation. The
yeah.
Titans are
Titans
not
very
good.
bad, right? Yeah,
Not a
no,
lot of
for sure.
talent. They let go of their head coach. So very similar situations, but I think Cam Ward has shown enough in college and in the
NFL.
NFL,
Yeah.
and he started the whole year, so he has those reps.
Yep.
It's like I said, it's kind of the same situation. The
Yeah.
Titans just need to get more talent in the room, hit on draft picks,
Yeah.
and bring in a head coach that's going to elevate Cam Ward.
Yeah. Because when I look at Cam Ward, I'm like, you know what? I have to give all props to him. Now, if I just judge him by the numbers, I mean, the QBR rating, right? It's only 33.2, right? You'd be like, that's awful. But I see the
Hmm.
potential. I mean, 15 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, which sounds still like a lot, right? Given
Yeah.
hey, every touchdown you throw, you're basically throwing a pick right afterwards. But,
Right.
he still gave us 3,000 yards, right? 15
Hmm.
TDs. It's just like, hey, the signs are there. And I think
Yeah.
Shadur as well, you kind of have to assess it with like a Cam Ward, right? They're going
Hmm.
to be exciting. They're going to be showtime, right? But this is their first year, right?
Yeah,
And for
100%. And
Shadur,
they're on
this was
bad
only his first.
franchises.
Oh, terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%. Sticking in the AFC North, is it time for the Bengals to make some changes? Whether that be head coach, which would be crazy because that means all four AFC North teams are without a head coach,
Yes.
or personnel. GM. What do you think
Yeah.
about the Bengals?
Mark, I think we could say the same answer on three. One, two, three. Yes.
Yes.
It's clear as day, right?
Hmm.
The Bengals, which you informed me, right? They gave most of their money to their offense, right? And so
Yeah,
their
I think it was
defense,
almost $700 million and three dudes.
yeah. And so, they might as well give all the money to the fans for defense because I mean, like they're on the field with them. It's just
All
like
right.
you guys aren't doing anything,
Yeah.
If you see Cincinnati, you're going to put up numbers, right?
Hmm.
And I remember it was Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers, the Unk Bowl, right? I mean, it was
Oh
like
yeah.
44-41. I mean, come
Hmm.
on, man. Like they need to adjust what they got going on offensively. Burrow needs to face some more criticism. Enough with the pretty
100%.
boy look. Enough with just saying, "Oh yeah, he's our QB for the future." I'm sorry, but
Hmm.
one Super Bowl appearance doesn't mean anything because guess what? They didn't win, right?
Nope.
And so you
Nope.
can have one good season, right? Like we've seen a lot throughout history, right? One good
Hmm.
season and then it just disappears. And that's what it's looking like. I mean, is he going to be injury prone again next year, right? What
Right.
about Jamar Chase, right? Hey, you got your money, right? But we need more from you. And if
Hmm.
T. Higgins is expendable, I'm shipping him, okay?
Yeah.
You got to get some pieces, and Burrow has to live up to expectation. Jamar Chase is getting the ball enough so he can't complain, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, we need more of these, okay?
Hmm.
It's just that simple.
No, I 100% agree that they just need to probably move off of T. Higgins and just make some room for signing other guys. And you talked about defense for the Bengals, which is credible because they've been, I mean, pardon my French, but they've been ass for like
Mm.
three years. Like I think it's like 22nd or lower the last 3 years, and that's not gonna. You can have a great offense, which they had. Like
Right.
last year, Joe Burrow had a historic season. I think 45
Yeah.
touchdowns, 7 picks, like 4,500 yards, somewhere close to that or around there.
Hmm.
And for what? To not make the
Exactly.
playoffs. You know what I mean?
Thank
It's
you.
kind of like um, Dallas this year. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Dak going crazy. You know, they got the two wide receivers. They have a credible running back, but the defense is terrible. And they also, I mean, they like I said, they paid those three guys almost $700 million, and not just like, the defense needs help, but you can't even pay offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why Joe's getting hurt and why he's complaining. But I 100% agree that Joe needs to be held accountable because he did tell the GM, no, we're paying T. Higgins. No, we're paying Jamar Chase. After he just got a bag. And it's
Yep.
like, bro, you can have your buddies around all you want, but don't be complaining that you're getting hit and the defense can't get stops when you allowed it. You are the franchise guy. You have some say in what the team does. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I 100% agree that Joe Burrow needs to be held accountable. That they need to make some changes. I think this is. I think Zach Taylor, the head coach, is definitely on the hot seat for how he starts off seasons. I think in the last 5 years, opening 2 games, he's 2-11. That
Yeah.
can't happen. That can't happen. You need to somehow get your team ready. But those are I'm kind of on board with you. Changes need to be made.
I mean, yeah, because I'm looking at their defensive. They're at the bottom of the league, you
It's
know?
bad.
And
It's bad.
it sucks so bad because if you paid those three guys, right, and one of them are out, your season is done.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any. If I'm a Cincinnati fan, I'm looking at Jamar, I'm looking at T, and I'm looking at Burrow. I'm complaining. I'm protesting. Right? This is not right. This isn't cool. I'm serious. I'm walking
Yeah,
out
no, I
there.
feel
I'm
you.
sending
I
a
mean,
message.
they weren't even allowed. Trey Hendrickson led this league in sacks last year, and he asked for a trade because they were just refusing to pay him because they could not. Like, I'm sure they would love to, but they
Right.
couldn't. So they had to give him a weird 1 year deal, which I guess maybe is good for him because he wanted out. So he's like, okay, I'll just suck it up this last year. I'll still get paid what I want for this year, and I'm out the door. You know what I
But
mean? And it sucks it came to that.
But you know why those 1 years, that 1 year deal isn't liked unless you're on like about ready to retire. You know why we don't like those, right? Because it's not guaranteed money, right? You
No.
get that 1 year, and let's say you get injured the following year, you're no longer worth that dollar amount. Teams can now be like, well, man, you did great, but we have to see when you get back, right? So
Yeah,
you settle for that
100%.
vet minimum, right? And then the next year, oh man, well you had an okay season, right? We can only give you about this much. So it's just not something that I would even take. It's just not something you do. You want guaranteed money.
I think we're both on the same page for that. Moving on
Absolutely.
though, sticking kind of in the AFC, which we've been on for a while, but I mean, there's a lot of news. Thoughts on having Lamar, Burrow, and Mahomes-less playoffs? Do you think
Ah,
it's been, a little nice to see? Would you rather see those names? What are your thoughts?
as a fan, of course, you want to always see the big timers play with each other, right? You don't want to see them get out there on the field. But I think it's good for the NFL. It gives a new spotlight to teams that normally don't get the spotlight, or even the upcoming talent that's surrounding the league. It shows how deep the NFL is, and how guys can perform under pressure. So I think it's great for the league. It's great for fans, but rating wise and views wise, it might not be. I mean, sometimes when a star player is out, right, fans are like turning it off if they're casuals, right? So, for me though, I enjoy it. I'm excited. I mean, already we look at the games that we've had. it's a bunch of excitement, right? We've seen comebacks, right? We've seen
Mm-hmm.
tight games with teams that shouldn't be in
Mm-hmm.
tight games, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's good for the league and it's good for the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll kind of piggyback off that. I mean, you kind of look at the playoffs games that were played. A lot of them came down to last, 50 seconds, 30 seconds, one
Absolutely.
possession
Thank you.
games, and so I agree that, it's you probably do want to see those box office names in there and have them go up against each other, but to really say it, they weren't good enough,
Hmm.
so they're not in there. And I'm sure the NFL would love them in the playoffs to boost the NFL's ratings and money and all that jazz. But I do think it's good for these other cats like Drake May, Bo Nix. Um, I'm sure, I'm sure Josh Allen is ecstatic that these guys aren't in the playoffs,
Oh,
because
for
I
sure.
think, what I mean? Like, this has to be the Bills' year, what I mean? With no Lamar, no Burrow, no Mahomes. If they don't get it done, then I don't know if they ever will. But
He doesn't have the
um,
team, I don't think, man.
yeah, that might be another conversation for a different day. But yeah, I'm kind of with you there. It sucks to not see him in there. Probably sucks for the NFL from their standpoint. But I mean, as a diehard NFL fan, I don't have really much of a problem with it. I want to see these young guys go out there and show what they can do and see what they have in store for us. So I'm with you.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Moving on. This year was filled with a lot of tough divisions in football. On in your opinion, your thoughts, what do you think is the toughest division in the NFL to play in? I don't want to say maybe just this year. I guess I'll go like the next or the past like 3 years. You could say.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I'm going to say the NFC North.
That's
There
a good
is,
choice.
I think the Packers have the most Super Bowls, right? Out of any team. Okay.
In the
The
North?
line, uh, it- no,
In
in
the
the
North,
league.
yes.
In the
No,
North.
not in the league. In the North, yeah.
Who
Not in
who
the
has,
league.
they have 19 Super Bowls.
They might have 19 NFL championships because
Yeah.
Super Bowls, it used to be NFL championships and then it
Right.
became the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Packers, I think, only have four.
19. Okay.
No,
Since the
you,
switch?
yeah. Well, I'm just saying what you're like, you say Super Bowls,
Yeah.
NFL championships. Yeah, but they are also the oldest team in the league. So,
Right, right.
but
But
if you just say Super Bowls, they have four.
yes,
Like the Steelers have six, the
that's
Patriots
fine.
have six,
I gotcha.
Dallas has five.
Yes. Hey, Mark, you got some glasses?
Which Hey,
Nerd?
you
No,
said
I'm
Super
kidding.
Bowls.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Look. They're still the winningest team. Okay?
Yes.
If you want to combine those two, if you don't, hey, props
There
to
you
you.
go. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that okay. Yeah.
Props to you, right? But you look at the Lions, they're always accredited to be always getting into the playoffs. I know they didn't make it this year. Um, Bears, for their iconic players that they've had, and then Vikings as well, right? I think it's always been a tough division, and that's my take, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good choice. Especially like I said, if we're going by the last 3 years, you could definitely say the North.
Hmm.
If we're going by the last 3 years and maybe into the future, I would probably say the NFC West with the 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and Arizona. And if we're just saying this year, especially because all those like three of those teams out of the four in that division had double-digit wins. Um, the Rams had 14.
Yeah,
49ers had 12 or 13, and then Rams had 11.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, you look at the coaches for those teams, all of them are solid, solidified, bona fide, like head coaches. Two of them who have been to multiple Super Bowls, or I think McVay's been to one. No,
yeah,
he's been to two. He's been to two. He lost to the Patriots in 19 and then won one in 21. So,
yeah,
just by that standpoint, maybe I would say the NFC West, but I don't have a problem with you saying the NFC North. I think those
yeah.
two are the right answers. You know
I
what I
do.
mean? So,
Yeah, I do want to ask though. When I look at the Seahawks schedule, though, I'm not too impressed with who they did play, right?
oh yeah,
Especially
no,
to finish
100%.
the season. So, like,
Yeah.
on paper, it might seem like, man, that was tough, right?
Hmm.
But the Seahawks, their accredited wins for one of their final wins was against Tennessee. They also played the Cardinals, right?
Hmm.
The Texans, tough defense, right? But we all know their offense is shaky. C.J. Stroud is C.J.
Yeah, I
slump,
mean, look
right?
at last night. CJ was
Yeah.
bad last night.
You see what I mean? So it's not like the Seahawks. I'm not too scared of them. Truthfully, I know their defense. is nice. Sam Darnold just doesn't seem like a quarterback that scares me.
No,
Okay,
that's a good
but
point. But piggybacking off that, the 49ers schedule wasn't nothing to,
mm,
be impressed about either. I
yeah.
think they had like the fifth easiest schedule or something like that.
So
Um,
yeah,
so I get it, but they also were like the 49ers were so banged up. I think if they're fully healthy,
yeah,
and all teams are fully healthy,
yeah.
that's a lot of
But I got to
nice
yeah.
football players in
And
that
I do have to
division.
credit the 49ers because, I mean, they're a bona fide team. Every year, they're going to come and they're going to play hard.
It says something about the coaching, man. Kyle
Oh, the team
Shanahan.
culture in general. San Fran, I mean, you look at the Golden State Warriors, you look at, the 49ers, they're just great overall. They're a
Yeah.
great organization. They come, they play hard, pause, and, this is how
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with your answer at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving on. Bills beat the Jaguars 27-24. And last year, when they were trying to ban the forbidden tush push, Sean McDermott was very vocal about it's not a football play. It doesn't belong in football. It's malpractice. You'll stuff like that. And then in that wild card game against the Jags, Bowen, they ran it 3 times. And the last play that they had on offense, it was a tush push, and it saves their season.
Absolutely.
So, and then one of the tush pushes, they pushed Josh Allen like 10 yards,
Yeah.
and Josh Allen was getting beat up the whole game. So for Sean McDermott to say those things, does that make him a hypocrite in your eyes, or what's your opinion?
Absolutely, it makes him a hypocrite, you know. Uh, but at the same time, I spoke to you about this. There's another perspective as well. It's like if you guys aren't going to change this rule, then I'm going to use it, and I'm going to show you why it's OP, right?
Yeah.
So there's two angles from it. I definitely see what you're saying. Me personally, the way my pride's built is if I don't like something, I'm not going to do it, right? But from his angle, I could see two ways of looking at it, right? It's either like, hey, I'm just going to do this because look, it's OP, can't beat it, can't stop it, right?
Right.
Or it's just like, you know what? You hypocrite. Why you're complaining about it? Then why are you doing? So I see
Mhm.
what you're saying for sure, for sure.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, in my eyes, it does make him a little hypocritical.
For
And
sure.
then it kind of makes him, I think, maybe like, hey, look in the mirror. Like maybe the Eagles are running this play because the game depends on it, or this and that. And then when the Bills' backs were against the wall, Sean, dialed it up and was like, okay, like. But I don't think you can go say those things and then have it save your season, like, without being called a hypocrite. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just thought it was weird, especially with how many times he said it's gonna get people hurt, and
Yeah.
then before they even ran it once that wild card game, Josh was already, he hurt his finger throwing the ball, and I think it landed on a player's helmet.
Right.
He hurt his leg, and he was already banged up, and then they decided to run it these 3 times, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
this is your star quarterback, and you said that play puts quarterbacks in harm's way, but here you are not giving a shit because your season's on the line. So
Yeah.
that's just my opinion on that.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Well, what do you think of the Jaguars and Bills win? Like, or Bills win, I should say, over the Jaguars.
I think it was a nice win. I don't think Josh Allen had a road playoff victory
Mm-hmm.
up until then. And the
Mm-hmm.
Jags, I mean, the Jags were red hot. Trevor kind of came back to earth a little bit in that playoff game with a couple picks. I know that last one to seal the game wasn't Trevor's fault. It just was a tight throw, went off the hands. It was a really good play by Tre'Davious White
Yeah.
to get his hand in there, knock it out, and the safety intercepted it. But I think it was a nice win because the Jags all year they had won 8 straight, and Trevor was on a heater,
Yeah.
and they had to go into Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I think it was a really credible win. I don't take anything away from the Bills for beating the Jags, and I'm not looking at it as like, oh, they beat the Jags.
Hey,
The,
thank you.
the Jags were red hot. I think the Jags have the right guy at head coach. That you can tell that they play for him. It just those 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you playoff games. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for sure. And I think the Jags did a great job battling through, a lot of adversity. Brian Thomas, he didn't have the best season.
Yeah,
There
a
was,
little sophomore slump.
yeah, I mean, it was actually, I mean, there was fans posting every last thing about him, and I felt bad for him. I even had him on my
Yeah.
fantasy team, believe it or not. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, kind of underperforming. I did, take a look at how they finished the schedule. I mean, 8 wins in a row, very impressive. Now,
Yeah.
were all the teams, great? Some of them were banged up. Chargers, they weren't, the best right at the time. Arizona,
Right.
Brissett was a great quarterback, but he played. He's like one of those quarterbacks that get better as the game gets worse, right? So
Yeah.
like they're down 20, but
Empty.
here he comes. You
In the
know,
NFL, in the NFL, they call that empty calories.
For sure, and it is. It's
Yeah.
empty stats. They say it in the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, listen, you're averaging 30, but like, bro, it's 20-1.
Yeah.
Bro, give up.
Right.
So, but I agree with that. Momentum can carry you a long way. But I just would expect a team like Buffalo, knowing that there's no Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, for those who say Burrow,
Excuse me.
to take advantage and send a statement like this is my year. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was 27-24. The game ended because Bills were able to pick it off that risky throw. But had they not got that pick, there's a different ball game, right? In
Yeah, there's definitely a world where they drive down the field, kick a field goal, tie it, send it to overtime, or get a
Yeah,
touchdown.
and I just don't like that. I think it sends a message to the league like it's up for grabs this year, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so I'm a little nervous for Josh Allen from the simple fact of, hey, this should be your year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you have enough unless you really pull some bag or some tricks out the bag,
Yeah, go
because
Superman.
there you go, because this won't be easy.
No, no, I agree.
That's my take on that.
Moving on, Sunday afternoon. Gosh, this hurts. 49ers beat the Eagles 23-19. After just an awful offensive performance by the Eagles, which has been going on
Yeah.
all year. And then today, Eagles fans can rejoice. They pulled the plug on offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo after just not seeming to fix the offense all year. I mean, it's been 19 weeks, And so, what are your thoughts on the Eagles season? Is this it for them? What changes do you think they need to make? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, you take a look at the Eagles versus, the Niners. I thought it was a really good game. It was competitive. It got off to a kind of a slow start, right? They were going back and forth. Um, but I don't think it's going to be the end for the Eagles. Okay. I just think it's just time to make some minor tweaks. With
Mm-hmm.
AJ being in there, it's just time to go. Let him,
Mm-hmm.
go explore these other options. Let him be the man on the team. If he thinks he's in that class of Jamar and, Jets and Cheetah and all them, by all means, go explore it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Philly is a winning team. They preach winning. That's what they're about. And
Yeah.
I think they're just that minor tweak away, and they're back to contenders. Honestly, it's just that
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. I 100% agree. I don't think that they're going anywhere anytime soon, especially now that they're going to get a offensive coordinator, a new one in the building. I think it's worth to show for all the Jalen Hurts haters out there that this will be Jalen's 12th straight play caller dating back to college. That's not easy for a quarterback. I mean, for every year to have a different play caller,
And who
different
was his
system,
play
different
caller
style.
this year?
Kevin Patullo.
And how did he get the job? I'm just curious.
Oh, he got the job. Yeah, I mean, our head coach has to be held accountable. He handpicked him, brought him up from an assistant quarterbacks coach to a play caller in the NFL, which is not going to work. I mean, the guy
Man.
had never called plays before.
Yeah.
And it showed. I mean, it showed that the last game or the last game of the season for the Birds, that playoff game for the 49ers was just a microcosm of the season. You know what I mean? All year
Yeah.
round. And
Yeah.
then literally going to the last play. The last play, Bowen, it's a 4th and 11, got to have it. And they run four verts, they run a mesh concept. It's
Yeah.
two outside receivers
Okay.
running go routes, and then the two inside receivers are running 10 yards and in.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
called a mesh concept. You do that versus man coverage. The 49ers were showing cover 4 zone. It's like It was like just playing Madden for
Yeah, I
the
was just about
coaches
to say, here goes
for
Matt.
the Eagles, and it made no sense.
Yeah.
There was Eagles fans after week 2
You
saying,
know,
"Yo, this coordinator doesn't know what he's doing."
hey,
So
listen,
if it,
you know in
what, go
Madden how they have the routes and you can edit them.
bro, it's like, bro, do you have a controller over there on the sideline? What is going on?
He's spamming
And bro,
Y.
I mean, it hurt. It hurt to watch, man. And it
Oh,
was
that's
all year.
sad.
It was all year, and I
Yeah.
just don't get it
Yeah.
because fans were tweeting and being
Right.
public about seeing the offensive coordinator struggle after week 2. It took our
Yeah.
head coach 19 weeks,
Yeah.
and he handpicked him.
Yeah.
So he has to be held responsible. Now, do I think he's going to get fired?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. He just won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to fire him, but he needs to be held responsible. And he let out a statement today that pretty much saying like I put it on myself, blah blah blah. But he goes back with Kevin Patullo like back till 2017. They were working on the Colts together, and it's like you've known this guy that long that you didn't know how bad of a play caller he was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So for me, it's just really frustrating because it was a waste of great defense. They were the best defense in the league coming into the last like 8 weeks, holding teams to just like I think it was 13 points. As far as AJ, yeah, I think it's maybe time. I mean, he's already voiced his frustrations, and the moment you do that, and then you get opportunities, you better make the most of those opportunities, or
Amen.
people will be on your ass, and that's just what it was. And I mean, he just dropped 3 inexcusable passes when you got to have them. Devontae dropped a big pass. I mean, it was a little outside his hands, but yeah, I think that's it for AJ, which hurts because I remember it like it was yesterday when we got him. But yeah, by all means, I don't think the Eagles are done. But it just goes to
Yeah.
show you that, like, look what the 49ers were able to do with third strings out there on the field. Look what Kyle Shanahan was able to do with them. Look how he was able to elevate the play of these
Right.
guys with his scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And our 2 coaches couldn't do that with a talented roster as the Eagles, probably most stacked roster in the league, the most
Right.
expensive offense in the league.
Right.
And it's like the offense got worse throughout the year. That can't happen. It can't, and it's a fireable offense. It's malpractice, and yeah, we saw he got fired today, rightfully so. Good riddance.
Yeah. I think he was making these facetious remarks. AJ was, right? Where you can't
Yeah.
even take it serious at times. And I didn't like how it was just so contagious. Other players had to speak on it and, kind of recultivate their culture. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. The Eagles are known for their professionalism, the way they approach the game, right?
Hundred
Um,
percent.
they're part of history when it comes to the NFL, and I just don't like that. We have AJ out here on an island preaching another word other than what the Eagles are supposed to be preaching, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's definitely time to move on from him. I don't care what he has to say. Respectfully, though, thank you for your services. You won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
treating him, but I'm also letting him know, hey, this is a breakup. This is a divorce, right? We're
Yeah.
done, right? You got what
Yeah.
you wanted. We got what we wanted. Thank you.
Facts. I mean, and last point before we move on to
No,
AJ's
absolutely.
credit,
Yeah,
he was. I mean, he was kind of telling us all year that this offense isn't good enough, but
for
like
sure.
we didn't need him, saying that. Like we saw it, brother. You know what I
Mark,
mean? Like
louder.
regular fans who watched the game saw it after week 2,
Thank
and
you.
so like to his credit, he was right. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It was just kind of how he said it, how he went about it.
yeah,
He was always
absolutely.
saying, I want to be here, I love it here, but his actions just said
Don't match
otherwise.
up. Yes,
You know what I
absolutely,
mean?
absolutely.
So I know Jalen was asked during locker cleanup day if him and AJF talked, and Jalen was like, "We're in a really good place right now," but I just don't think that's enough.
But can I ask? So why is it? Because they are great friends. Why is it that AJ can stay, or not AJ? Why is it that Jalen stays so professional, time in, time out? He has all this adversity at his head. Oh, you don't
Yeah,
pass enough, right? Oh, you're not scrambling. You're not getting the stats what we want you to, right? But
right.
you have a guy on your team who's complaining about a fly landing in the locker room. You
Yeah,
know, uh, like what does that do to a team, and especially what does that
yeah,
mean about a leader like Jalen?
yeah. I mean, like you said, it resonates in the locker room. It's ruins the morale.
Right.
But yeah, Jalen has stayed professional through it all, and that's why I'm a big fan of his.
Hmm.
I just think it shows a lot for his character to stay even kill, even through, AJ's sneak disses, if you will.
Mike
But
talking that talk. He said sneak this.
yeah, but I don't know.
Oh no, Mike.
Like I said, AJ wasn't wrong. How he went about it was wrong. But
Yeah.
we'll get
Like the
moving
message
on
that he
here.
was sending was the correct message. It's just not the
Yeah,
way you're
he
supposed
was
to go
saying the
about it.
offense was ass, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, duh. But
I'd have a
anyways,
player meeting or something like that. But that's my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. So we got last NFL take here before we move on to NBA, and it's not really a take, I guess, but we'll give our picks for the divisional round.
Give me the give me the tea, Mark. Give me the tea.
Yeah, we'll make our picks for the divisional round here. First up, we got Texans at Patriots.
Yeah.
So who do you think comes away with the dub? I don't think you need to, you know,
No, dude, the score or
say any
anything like that.
score, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who do you just think is coming
For
top of that?
for me, it is an upset, like a huge upset if the Texans win. I have the Patriots winning this one convincingly. I think Drake May is gonna, keep his foot on the gas. When
That's a
you have
hell of a defense Texans got. I
no,
mean,
for sure, by all
you saw what
means,
they did last night, but I
yeah.
mean, I know the Steelers aren't the Patriots, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but we also saw, this is a team that can really mess it up. I mean, with C.J. Stroud, right? Uh, Defense can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
We need a quarterback to get in there. And Drake May not only is taking care of the offensive side, right, but he's proven the defense, hey, listen, we can do this too, right? And so when you have both, sides of ball, right, on a string, and respecting one another and going out there and performing, I mean that's signs for success right there. So I have the Patriots winning convincingly.
Yeah, and I usually I'd agree with you because the defense can only do so much. And like I said, I know the Steelers aren't the Patriots, but last night CJ had 3 turnovers, two
There you
really
go.
bad interceptions, a bad fumble, and they won 30-6. It says a lot about their defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just rallying to whoever has that ball, and it's honestly amazing to watch. But I would have to agree that the Patriots probably win a close one, low scoring game.
Close. Wow. Why close?
Like a 13-10 type of game.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying close because all of these games have been close besides that, Patriots, Chargers, and Texans, Steelers. Every
Yeah.
other game came down to the last possession.
Yeah.
So I just think it's playoff football. It's probably going to be a close game. Both teams are good. And I don't believe in CJ Stroud, but I mean, if he has half the game he had yesterday, I think they could pull off the upset. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Moving on to. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, out of all the teams that played, I think the biggest leads came from the Texans game. There Texans and Steelers, and then Pats and
Yeah.
what was it?
Chargers.
Pats, yeah, and Chargers.
Yeah.
You know,
Every other game was
down to the
last.
wire.
Yeah. So
You know.
that's why I just say it's probably going to be close, but who knows? I mean,
No, absolutely.
moving on. Bills at Mile High Stadium facing the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. I like Denver. I do.
Yeah.
I want the Bills to win because I actually am a huge fan of Josh Allen. I think he's a stud. And he can do it all, I think. I mean, this man literally, I don't know what they credit him as, but I remember he threw the ball and it bounced and he caught it. And he scored the touchdown. It was insane. I mean, the man, not in that game.
Oh.
I forgot who it was in the snow. I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year.
Maybe against the Bengals.
I
don't
think
know.
it was snowing, but I mean,
Yeah.
the man is a stud. I just don't think that win against the Jaguars sold me like they're going to get it done this year. Unless they prove me otherwise and just have a confident win, and this would be a great win, right? But I think they just need to send a message, especially Josh Allen, like, hey, I'm that guy. I've been doing this longer than any of y'all. Watch this, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I think it would take. But I like Bo Nix. I like their defense. I think they have a great team. They've constructed it well, and I just see them falling short, or I just see the Bills falling short.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I think I got Denver winning. They're coming off their first round bye. My only worry is that maybe they're a little too rested. And the Bills have,
Just got out there.
had a playoff game. They're kind of in rhythm a little bit, I guess you could say. But
Right.
it's a hard place to play up there in Mile High, man. And On top of that, the Bills are on a short week because they played Sunday, and the game in Denver's on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen was banged up that game, the whole game, probably not feeling too good. But
Yeah.
like I said, like you said, I'm rooting for the Bills
Mm-hmm.
because I think this needs to be their year.
Yeah.
Going back to when we said, there's no Mahomes, no Lamar, no Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So I am rooting for the Bills, but yeah, I do think the Broncos win that game. And what's interesting is the Broncos are the first seed to be underdogs in a divisional
That's
matchup
wild. I
since
didn't know that.
yeah, they're well, not all time. It's since the 2017 Eagles when they were the one seed and Carson Wentz got hurt, and then they had Nick Foles come in.
Oh yeah.
They were underdogs to the Falcons in the divisional round at home.
Yeah.
And the Eagles ended up winning that game and obviously going on to win the Super Bowl. But I just thought that was really interesting that the Bills are favored, and it's because of one guy, Josh
Yeah.
Allen.
Can I ask something real quick before we move on? When you look at Carson Wentz, okay, I do you ever question the way his career's kind of played out post Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that because when
mean-
he tore his knee,
I mean, he was
that
an
year.
MVP candidate, no?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely going to be MVP, and then they ended up giving it to Tom Brady. And I think Carson only missed two, maybe three regular season games after
Yeah.
he tore his knee. So it's not like he missed the whole year.
No.
I was so mad because the Eagles have never had an MVP in the history of their franchise,
Right.
and that was gonna be the year. But
Yeah.
he ended up tearing his knee, and not just tearing his knee, he tore his ACL, MCL, and ACL. And so going back to your
Yeah.
why Carson, post Eagles, I just think as a quarterback, it's so hard to be the same guy after such a, you kind of have that, that monkey on your shoulder, like, oh man,
Yeah.
am I gonna tear, like, you know what I mean? So
I
I think
get you.
that kind of.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he was a super athletic freak, right? At the same time.
Oh, I urge the audience and you,
Yeah.
Bowen, to go look up Carson Wentz 2017 highlight
Yeah.
reel. The things he was doing. He was Mahomes right
Yeah.
before Mahomes, and then he tore his knee.
No.
It's one of the nastiest highlights reels I've ever seen.
I mean, the
His
guy,
2017
yeah, the
reel.
guy I see now, I mean, I thought he was decent in Minnesota, honestly. I thought he just needed some more
Yeah,
reps.
for a few games, but
Yeah.
he has a tendency to give the ball away. Like
Yeah.
he's one of those that'll like I'm gonna make a huge play,
Yeah.
a great throw, and then I'm gonna hand it back to him.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Going to the NFC side of things, we have San Francisco in Seattle. Who do you think comes out on top there?
I've got San Fran.
Oh, interesting.
I think it would be more of an upset if Seattle beat them, truthfully, in my opinion. I'm not confident in Sam Darnold. I don't think anybody is. If you look up any network, podcast, I mean, they're all saying the same thing. We pray that Sam Darnold does not repeat what he's shown us in the past, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we're questioning his surrounding cast, right? We're just,
No.
questioning the man in the middle. Now, as far as, San Fran, they've got a great team. Ever since Brock Purdy got back, I mean, he's went right back to winning,
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's back, of course, this season, and I think you noted that he had 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving, correct, yards?
I don't know if he did that this year. He might have gotten really close, or he
Right.
did it. I'd have to fact check it, but
Right.
I know he's done it once before. And if
Yeah.
he did do it this year,
Yeah.
then he'd be the only player to ever do it twice.
Yeah. As long as teams are able to, or as long as San Fran's able to just get out there and run their offense like they've been doing all season, I have all faith in them. They play both sides of the ball, and I trust Purdy more than I do Darnold.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I definitely trust Purdy more than I do Darnold. I have the Seahawks though, because when they last played, I think it was Week 15.
Yep.
Seattle beat them 13-3.
Yep.
Seattle's defense is first or second in the league now that the Eagles are out. I mean, Seattle's is probably always the first, and then you have the Texans. But like you said, I do trust Purdy more than Sam. It kind of sucks that Sam's the weak link on the team, but it's just true. Like they win games in spite of Sam Darnold. Like this year, he had a good year, but he
Yeah.
has weapons all around him. But he still found ways to try to lose the game. Like more than
Yeah.
half the season. He had multiple turnover games.
Yeah.
A lot, and he is the weak link on the team, and that's
Yeah.
the quarterback. That's not a good sign. But I do think Seattle comes on top, especially because George Kittle tore his Achilles in the Eagle game. So
Yeah.
now the 49ers are literally running out practice squad players, and I know you could say like, well, they beat the Eagles with practice squad players.
Yeah.
Eagles were not good,
De-
so
but defensively, they were that banged up because you guys were fully healthy from what I thought.
49ers.
No, Eagles defense.
No, the Eagles defense was fully healthy.
Yeah, and so with Kittle being out and them to still get that win, you don't think that sends a little bit more of a message than you're giving them?
I think the Eagles just, I mean, the Eagles offense put so much pressure on the Eagles defense
Yeah.
because the Eagles could not score points. Like,
Uh,
our all-pro corner, Quinyon Mitchell, had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble that game,
right.
and we
And
got
he
three
still
points.
lost. Yeah.
We got 3 points out of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, the Eagles offense was just that bad. So it just put so much pressure on our defense
Yeah.
that, you get tired because you're out there on the field so much because your offense is just going on the field and then
Yeah.
coming right back off. So then your defense is going from right on the field or
Okay.
right off the field to right back on the field. So
Right.
I do think Seattle wins the game. It is in Seattle. Like I mentioned, when they did play a few weeks ago, it was in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 13-3 like you said,
Which
right?
San Francisco's defense did do a good job. They held them to 13,
13.
but
And
San Francisco only scored 3 because Seattle's defense is that good.
is that good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still more confident in San Fran. I mean, the Seahawks, I'm looking at their running back situation as well. They didn't know if they wanted to start Kenneth Walker, and so then they put in Cabernet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a little bit of a toss up. JS, what is it? JSM
Jackson
or
Smith,
JSN?
yeah,
Yeah, JSN, no questions about him, right?
no,
But I mean, if you look at their other targets, or yeah, who else Sam Darnold is targeting? I mean, later in the season, he started including the tight end. Later in the
mm-hmm.
season, I mean, he never really included Cooper. I think Cooper cut. I think he only really
Yeah,
got involved 2 games out of the season, and I don't even think he touched
yeah.
100 yards, not one of them.
No, he's older. He's definitely on the back
But
end of his career. But
I
yeah,
don't
no,
even
I
think
see what you're
he's getting.
saying.
I don't think he's even getting the opportunity, and I think it's easier to scheme against a team that's saying, "Hey, we're only gonna give it to this guy," you
Yeah.
know. And our
Mm-hmm.
running back situation, we're not too confident, and defense can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at Purdy like, "Hey, I still have options. I've been in this situation before. I can do this." I,
No,
I don't think Darnold can.
I think that's valid. I guess it wouldn't shock me if the 49ers won because they've just been finding ways all year with nobody on the field.
Thank
So
you.
I guess it wouldn't
Give
shock
me
me,
percentages
especially going.
wise: 60-40, 50-50, 49-51. What are we talking, Mark?
I would lean 60-40 Seattle,
You still got
but
Duce in that cup, huh? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
it's water today, man.
I get
Or is it?
oh,
Or is
man.
it? Or is it? No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Moving on to the last playoff matchup, the divisional round, we have the Los Angeles Rams with Matt Stafford and Sean McVay and Puka Nakua going to Chicago to see the Cardiac Bears and Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson.
Yes.
It's gonna be, I think that's gonna be the game.
Hey, before we start, Marcus, do you want to say your apology? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah. Are you talking about last pod when
Matter
I
of fact,
said Caleb?
somebody said you look like Caleb Williams.
I saw that in the
I need
comments.
people to. I need people to answer that if you look like him or not.
Hey, I'll take that. Just know I don't paint my nails, bro. Hey, we all good off that over here, but no, I do apologize. I mean, I actually no, I don't
Nothing to
apologize. 'Cause
apologize. No. Yeah,
I said Caleb needs to win a playoff game
absolutely.
for me to see that he exceeded expectations.
You have every right to
And
say that.
That first half of the Bears game or the Bears Packers game, I mean, I was kind of up in my seat, like, hey, look, like, because it was looking bad for Caleb.
Very.
But that's been the Bears all year. Like, hey, first half
Absolutely.
we'll go down 14 points, 20 points. Don't matter. They call us the Cardiac Bears for a reason. You know what I mean? So the second half, Caleb was outstanding. That 4th and 8 throw, I think it was, when he was like throwing off his back foot in the middle of being tackled, throws
Oh
over
my
like 3
gosh.
Packers
Amazing.
defenders
Absolutely.
into the breadbasket when you got to
Right.
have it. I mean, yeah, that second half showed me enough to like where, yeah, I can say like, yeah, he's definitely exceeded expectations.
Right. Right.
But as far as as far as the matchup, who you got, Bears or Rams?
I have the Bears, and I'm not going to say it's going to be a convincing win. I think it'll
Shocker.
be. No, yeah, no, it's real soccer. But I do think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. It is the game to watch. Um,
Yes.
Caleb Williams, he's been box office so far in these playoffs. Well, I mean, one game.
Absolutely.
But
He's been box office all like pretty much all year,
I
I'd say.
think all year. But I know the fans will feel an uproar from that, and they'll start talking. But anyways,
Hmm.
I love the game. I think Caleb has a lot of confidence right now, and so the Bears in general. I think that win
Hmm.
against the Packers just showed them, hey, listen, look what we can do, right? We just have to get on a string. And that's the
Absolutely.
highlight of this. We have to get on a string. This won't be a comeback win. This has to be,
No.
hey, we're in the game the entire time, right? And
Hmm.
they're keeping up with us, not they're keeping up, or not them.
We're keeping up
We're
with them.
thank you, my bad.
Yeah, I see what you're
Um,
saying.
but yeah, no, it's a big deal. I think that's huge for them. And if you watch the game against Carolina and the Rams, that shouldn't have been as close. Granted,
No.
the Panthers had a good season. We talked about that on the first pod. The game was actually way closer in my opinion than it should have.
Hmm.
I don't think anybody expected what was it 34-31?
Panthers Rams.
Yeah,
Yeah, either that or 34-7 or 34-37, something
yeah,
like that. It
something like
was
that.
yeah, 3 point game.
Very close game, and it shouldn't have been that close, right?
No,
Carolina's
no.
got a lot to figure out right now. And the Rams, that was again another time for another team to send a message to the rest of the league. Hey, look, we can win convincingly. I get it, it's
Hmm.
the playoffs, right? But that's when you're supposed to try harder. The score should be lower. It was
Absolutely.
37-31, right?
Yeah,
And so I think the Rams secondary is their weakest point right now on the team. And so a
absolutely.
team like that, right? Like the Chicago
Hmm.
Bears, who are
They have
willing
three really good wide receivers,
and
and
a
then they have
quarterback who's really willing to fling it.
yeah, and then they
Okay.
have a running back who can hurt you in the pass game as well with DeAndre. So.
Absolutely, and we saw that last game, right? I think there was
Hmm.
like fourth quarter, 12 minutes left when he caught it to the right side of the field, right? Got us an
Hmm.
extra 20 yards. So I
Hmm.
mean, there's things like that where yeah, definitely don't sleep on Swift. But I have the Bears winning that one as long in contingent that they stay in the game the entire time. If they go down early, and I'm talking about 10 point difference, they're out of there. Bears pack it up.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, especially hitting on the point where I don't think the Bears can afford to keep doing this comeback style of winning. Like, just s- do what you do in second halves the whole game, and you could literally go win a Super Bowl if you're the Bears. Now, I think their defense is a little suspect, but you saw in the second half when they had to, they turned it on, made it really hard for Jordan Love. Was giving Jordan Love what he wanted in a way, but it helped the Bears because at that point the clock was the Bears' enemy, not Jordan Love. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just think, yeah, I think, and I think the Rams have been playing suspect ball for like a month now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they went to the Falcons and lost. It's a lot of close games. So yeah,
And
I
is
think
that
I got
coming from their defense or is that coming from their offense?
more defense, like you said. That secondary is a little shaky. They have all the offensive weapons,
They do.
but Matthew Stafford didn't play particularly well in that Carolina game. So
Yeah. And he's getting up there in age, you know?
yeah, but I mean he is going to be the MVP. It's just he didn't play that well against Carolina. But I
Yeah.
think I got the Bears too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it for NFL. So if you want to kick us off with some NBA news,
Yes.
get us going on
NBA.
that.
Hey, where greatness happens, where amazing happens, where the best moments happen. NBA. No, to start us off though, I want to get into that Trey Young talk. I know he was just traded about 6 days ago now. But what are your overall thoughts on the trade? Is it good for him? Is it good for the Hawks? What's your overall thoughts?
Yeah. Right now, Trey's getting 19 points a game, 1.5 rebounds, 9 assists, shooting 41% from the floor, 28 minutes per game, but he's only played 10 games.
Yeah.
So, listen, I mean, is it good for Trey? Yeah, he got what he wanted, but it's the Wizards. You know what I mean? He's going to bring a little more attention to the Wizards, which I guess is good for the Wizards, but they're not going anywhere. Trey Young's a defensive liability. Now, I can see the hustle
Right.
in him when he does play defense, but he just his height alone, it's a liability. So it's going to be one of those like Russell Westbrook type ordeals in on the
Hmm.
Wizards. The points and the numbers are going to be there, but they're going to have 15 wins at the end of the season.
He's
So
gonna be 10 cans. I bounce that. Excuse me. No, I
that's just
think
my take.
yeah,
I mean, I'm happy for Trey because he
yeah,
clearly wasn't happy in Atlanta. I think he did a
yeah,
lot of good things in Atlanta.
yeah.
It's probably a little too soon to move off of him, but um, yeah, I don't. It doesn't make the Wizards any better. Or I shouldn't say that, but not much better. No.
No, I mean Atlanta didn't get anything back.
Yeah.
They got C.J. McCollum and who's coming off the bench by the way for them, and I forgot what else they got. But I mean, you take a look at a guy like Trey Young, dating back from college, right? Has just been
Hmm.
a scorer, right? And he can get other people involved, but his usage rate is too high, and I think that comes to bite him in the tail, because it took him getting injured to really know what Jalen Johnson can do, and I think
Yeah.
when they saw that, the Hawks, kind of jumped to a conclusion like, okay, we can get rid of him now, right?
Hmm.
I think Trey Young is a kind of a stubborn player to play with for an organization, because
Definitely
he demands a
stubborn.
lot,
Yeah.
and he wants a lot, but I don't think he knows how to fully adjust his game. So I think this move to the Wizards still isn't going to humble him enough. And so I hope he does play this season for several reasons. One, for fans. Okay, Trey Young has a lot of
Hmm.
fans.
Yeah.
He does bring excitement to the league. There's not too many guys that can pull it from half court and just fling it at his clip and his rate. Um,
Yeah.
you
He
know,
looked. I think he was our graduating class, right?
yes, he
17.
was. He was. Him and Michael Porter Jr. They were actually on the
Yeah.
same AAU team too. But a guy like Trey Young, he does need a little bit of a humbling experience from a team and an organization. And I think he'll get that with the Wizards if he plays. If he does not
Yep.
play, um, I just don't understand the move from the Wizards. I think they need to be fined if he does not play. That's obvious tanking. It's bad for the league. It's bad for the fans. If a team is just willing to tank on purpose,
Hmm.
there's got to be some sort of penalty, because I don't see in what world you don't play Trey Young in the NBA. I don't
Yeah.
agree with
No.
that.
I think you kind of hit it right on the nail there. I think it's like I said, I think it's good for the Wizards just to have kind of that all-star in
Right.
the room, if you will, just to bring more attention to the Wizards.
If he
But
plays,
that's just my opinion, really.
yeah. You know, but you brought up All Stars. I do want to ask, how do you feel about the All Star game, and like, do you feel like they need to change it at all?
I mean, you can sit here and say they need to change it, but I mean, they've changed it like every year, like try to get these players to
Kinda.
actually show
Yeah.
some heart. Yeah, kind of show some heart and actually like play to win the game and not just we're just jacking up half court shots the whole game. We're not running back on defense, but you kind of have to understand from the players aspect, like, yeah, you don't want to get hurt. That's money that you're playing with if you do get hurt, you know what I mean, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I don't know, maybe make some of the fan votes count more. Don't do what the NFL did and just take away the game and have a bunch of mini, like the NFL Pro Bowl games. They're playing dodgeball out there, Bowen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
see these NBA
No.
players playing mini hoop.
Yeah. No.
Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
No.
What are your thoughts?
No, like you said, right? I think you knew where I was going with this. Fans vote have to count more, right?
Yeah.
Players have to take it more personal when they do not get voted into the All Star. I think if you make it a popular vote, people get jealous of popularity and they want to be a part of that popularity. They want to be part of the cool kids, right? And so if you
Hmm.
make it harder to be a part of the cool kids, right, it becomes more competitive.
Yeah.
And fans controlling it, they could vote in a guy like Taco Fall, or they could vote in,
I remember that.
yeah, like things like that can happen. Don't get me wrong, but every right player should be frustrated, because
Hmm.
that's what's going to get them back on track to be like, hey, you know what? Vote for me. They'll start advertising it. They'll start preaching for it. And guess what that means for us as fans? They're going to try in the All-Star game, because they no longer can do what LeBron, Kobe, Mike, all these other greats, Russ, who made it to the All-Star game, 10 times, 9 times. They won't be able to
Hmm.
say that anymore unless they win over who? Us, you
Right.
know? So that's my take on it. I think maybe instead of having the rule about the awards, put that rule in for the All-Star game, they at least have to play 65 games. I think
Oh.
that's, or you could say even like 50 games. Okay, I think you
Mm-hmm.
could still lower the bar and because guys like Taco Fall, they probably only played like 30 games, 20 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you lower the bar to like 40, 45, 50, you won't have these guys like Taco Fall get into the All-Star game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
but I definitely that would be my solution to solve it.
Yeah. No, I kind of 100% agree, and maybe I don't know, maybe if moving it towards the end of the year, like the Pro Bowl does, the Pro Bowl's at the end of the year,
Yeah,
maybe that could shake things up a little bit. I know the players enjoy that All Star break during the middle of the year, but
right.
I mean something's gotta give.
Here's the thing, Mark. If you just took a vacation, right, at work, and then you're called back to work middle of your vacation to like sit down through a meeting that's paid, would you want to do that?
Uh, Probably not.
You see what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah.
only thing I'm nervous of is like these players get to how do you say this? They get their opportunity to like rest and take a
Hmm.
break, but then they're called to duty at the end of the year. I just wouldn't want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
But anyways, um, speaking of breaks, Joel Embiid has been taking a break for the last what 2 years. Some on his own end, others because injuries and things like that. But should the Sixers look to move off of him?
Um. Yeah, I would think so. You got those two young cats in Philadelphia that are looking really promising, and Maxi and VJ. Um, I know it probably sucks for Embiid to think about it, and because he's been saying trust the process for 30 years now, but I think he just owes it to himself. I don't think the fans would be upset. I mean, he's given them all they've got. I think he just deserves to play with, his Kobe, if you will. Because you look at when Ben Simmons was actually playing basketball and not, a fisherman.
Yeah,
Um, him and Embiid did good things.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And Ben wasn't a shooter. So like, you give him that
Didn't even
that
try
second
to be a
fiddle.
shooter actually.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think Embiid just owes it to himself,
Right.
and like I said, I don't think the fans would be upset.
No, I don't think the fans would necessarily be upset at Embiid, like for what he's done. I think they would be more upset about what he was not able to do in a sense
Hmm.
of like stay healthy, right?
Yeah.
And as far as the Sixers, whether they should move off of him or not, I think it's time. The timelines just don't match up. Tyrese Maxey's too young, BJ too young.
Hmm.
You have what's his name? Jared what's his
Oh,
name? TikTok.
yeah,
McCain.
Jared McCain. Yeah.
Yes. You have him off the bench, which he's working his way back into being a starter again. So that situation will be a little bit interesting with those three guys because they all showed signs of potential.
Right.
And McCain, before he got injured, they were talking about how he was their best player and playing the most consistent. So I thought
Yeah.
that was great.
He
But
was
yeah,
playing
no,
pretty
I
good.
think Embiid can get you a lot of talks around the NBA, and I think he could get you maybe a draft pick, maybe a nice complimentary role
Yeah.
player.
Yeah. I mean,
And
he's getting 23 right now.
yeah,
Under 8 boards though. I mean, really under 7.
yeah,
And then 3 assists per game, 46% shooting, 47
yeah.
really. So I mean, they're not bad. You know what I mean? Like it's
No,
just I
no, it's just injury. I mean, it's just
yeah.
about like being able to get out there on the floor. And I think his time has come where it's like, hey, you're a second fiddle, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No.
It's not because you're bad. It's just
Right.
because you just can't stay healthy, and that's okay. You know,
Hmm.
I would love if Giannis were to stay in Milwaukee and they actually get Embiid over there with him.
Yeah.
Because I think those two guys right there, Giannis is willing to run up and down, and he can kind of cover up some of the things that Embiid just simply can't give anymore. You know,
Exactly.
but also the Lakers might look at that and be like, hey, listen, if Embiid, hey, you're willing to re-sign with us after this, contract expires,
Yeah.
and you're willing to go down just a little bit. I mean, you and Luca, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
um,
and the word around the Lake Show is that they don't know if DeAndre Ayton's their viable, option at
option.
center.
Yeah, I
They don't know
remember.
if they're going to stick with him. So
Yeah,
I think Joel Embiid is probably a slight upgrade. I mean, DeAndre has been playing really well.
No, for sure.
I don't want to knock him or anything, but
Yeah.
that's just the word around the street is that they don't know if he's their, long term option.
No, for
So
sure.
that
I
could
mean,
definitely,
yeah. It would just be interesting. I mean, even if a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who have been known to take on large contracts and then ship them off to teams that need them, and then in return they get
yeah,
draft
and
picks.
old all stars.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But they've been doing that, right? And
Yeah,
at first people were criticizing them, but like look at them, like they're going to have like several draft picks every single year, you
yeah,
know. But I guess we will see what they decide to do with that.
yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely.
we did talk a little bit about some of these rookies, but how would you assess all the rookies this year in the draft?
Um, I think, I think a lot of them are playing well, and people might think like it's not as star studded, but I mean
Hmm.
they're rookies.
Yeah,
They're not going to be stars yet. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But I know what Knuppel, he's leading the rookies in scoring with 19.5, and you got Cooper with 18, 19 really,
yeah.
VJ with 17, Jeremiah Fears with 14, and then Cedric Coward with 13.7. But I'd probably still lean Cooper Flag the rookie of the year so far.
Yeah.
Even though he's not leading in points, I just think all around
Yeah.
he's been rookie of the year. But I really like Derek Queen out of New Orleans.
Me too.
He's
Big
been
time.
he's been sensational.
Sensational.
Kind of what the doctor ordered for them, even though they're not good. Like they're not
Yeah.
too good, but he's a really nice stretch.
Yeah.
Big, can hit mid-range shots, can hit the three, which you kind of have to do in today's NBA
Don't
league.
forget he can sling it too. Mink.
Yeah, he can pass. I think he's leading the rookies in assist with. Let me see if I'm not mistaken. No, he's not. But he's getting 4.1.
Yeah.
Ryan Nemhard's leading the rookies in assist with 5. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Which worked.
going
He
back
worked
to
his
all,
way into a starter,
yeah, he did.
and he was what, a second round pick?
Yeah, I
he
think
was a
so.
second round pick.
Yeah. But yeah, just I think I would lean Cooper Flag for rookie of the year. But to assess him, I think a lot of these guys are playing really good ball.
Would you give it like an A, B, C, D, or F?
Probably a B, solid
Oh
B.
yeah, solid B.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. I think I'm right there. I think I'm a B plus because I mean to have four guys almost average 20, right? Or the fourth
Mm-hmm.
being what, Fierce? I think he's at 14, so I mean not exactly close to 20. But I think that's really good. We haven't had a great a draft class in a while. Well, I know we've had
Yeah.
a great, player come out of draft.
Mhm.
But the past couple drafts just haven't been great. And
No, they
surprising,
haven't.
no, like there's always been a lot of surprises coming out of the draft. Like, oh, look at this second round pick, or look at this player that came out of nowhere. Let's
Right.
redraft this. And guys that like James Wiseman, right, who was the number one,
Mhm.
fell all the way down to the second round, first pick. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I just feel like this draft class is turning a lot of heads. You look
Mhm.
at a guy like Jeremiah Fears. He's what New Orleans needed because he brings a culture with him. He plays aggressive, and he's played like this ever since high school too. He's in your face. He's playing defense. He can shoot the ball, dribble, hand off. He does what he's told. And his partner in crime is Queen down there too. Okay, and
Mhm.
Queen's nice. It just stinks because they just have so much going on. You have Zion who's on Bang Bros, and then you have, and then you got. Hey, watch them! Hey, watch them try to sponsor that. Hey, no, I'm just
All
kidding.
right.
No, I'm kidding. No, then you got Trey Murphy,
Mhm.
who's a stud. I think he can shoot
Yeah.
the ball.
He's now the
athletic.
Pelicans' all-time leading scorer in threes.
Isn't that crazy? You know, but then you take a look at the Mavericks. They paired up Nemhard with Cooper. They're playing a lot faster, but they're also waiting on AD to get back in that stuff. I just think there's a lot going on with this rookie class, and I like the potential. I think
Mhm.
there's some really good role players, and I think there's some stars in the making. So I'd rate it a B plus, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
But real quick with the Dallas Mavericks, because we touched on them,
Mhm.
they're also in trade discussions. Do you think they're quitting too soon on AD and Kyrie possibly being able to mentor and play with Cooper Flag?
I mean, to be honest, I think that that it wasn't. I mean, when Kyrie tore his Achilles last year, we knew that this wasn't going to be the year,
Hmm.
especially knowing that Anthony Davis, the way he is, he's just. I mean, he's. You go through the list of injuries he's had this year. It's 12 different things, right? And now it's his finger, and now he has to get surgery on it, and now he's done for the year. So
Is he done for the year? I thought he was done for some months.
he's done for months, but
Yeah.
we
Oh,
kind
who
of knew what
knows?
that's
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
right.
Facts.
But I think that they just need to at least wait it out one more year.
Hmm.
Um, maybe get off of Clay Thompson. Give him back to Golden
Golden
State
State. Yeah.
so he can have a nice retirement. The way he wants to go out. But I just think we all knew that this wasn't going to be the year for the Mavericks. It was going to be the year after, if anything. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I feel like they are quitting too soon. When you have a guy like Cooper Flag, who's a rising budding star, okay, don't make the mistake that the Charlotte Hornets been running for the last 15, 20 years. They get a
Yeah.
great player, okay, or even a good player, who is a 1B type of guy, and they surround him by more young guys, right? And so what that does is it doesn't build a culture. And if it does build a culture, it's the wrong type of culture. It's the parties, it's the women, it's the nightlife. It's all the wrong things. And I think guys like AD and Kyrie, they come in with maturity. They set a standard uh, in their abilities. I mean, can you imagine the post game that AD can help Cooper develop? Can you imagine the handles and the picking your side of the lane you want to attack with Kyrie? I mean, those are things that not only Cooper would be able to learn, but he'd also be able to grow from and defend and learn how to guard it. You know, I would definitely
Mhm.
love if Cooper Flag could just, at least spend at least 2 years with both players and develop
Yeah.
and learn from these guys. Because moving off of them would just be catastrophic, in my opinion, to the development of my team.
Yeah. 100%.
And
I 100% agree.
if you're the Mavs, Mark, who do you even look for? Who is going to want Kyrie right now, and who is going to want AD right now? The Lakers were willing to trade him. Granted, it was for Luca, right?
Hmm.
But the Lakers were also sending a message. They said they call him Glass Man now. Glass,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And some people took out the GL and just said he was playing like, excuse my language, almost said it. Kyrie obviously with ACL injury. I think that scares some teams as well. Tearing that, especially when you get older, it can be a little shaky. And Kyrie, towards the end of his career now, he's missed time with the Brooklyn Nets due to the controversy.
Hmm.
Um, and that, took some time. And then obviously when he got back, he got shipped to the Mavericks and he, still missed some time. Um, so it's kind of unfortunate for him. I just hope
Hmm.
that,
Yeah, and
they
to
keep
be
him.
honest, I mean, 80's value has only gone down.
Yeah.
So who would really?
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, speaking of value and what they're worth, do you think Dylan Brooks is worth a trade to the Lakers, or should they move on from even considering him an option?
Um, well, I think JJ Redick said yesterday after they lost to Sacramento that they can't make a shot. And so I think Dylan Brooks does allow you to have that shot making ability and defense, which they need. But um, it's kind of gonna be LeBron's choice, the GM.
Yeah.
But
Le GM. Oh
yeah,
man, this
but
is new.
right, but I think I think it'd probably be worth because you got to try something.
Okay.
But he then becomes the fourth option again, where kind of like how he was in Memphis. It's just that defensive enforcer.
Right.
So you kind of got to look at it from both angles. But I think it'd be worth it because they got to do something.
I am anti Dylan Brooks trade for the Lakers. I don't think it benefits them in any way when you have guys like Luca, LeBron, and then you have Austin Reeves. Um, in the mix. If you bring in a guy like
Hmm.
Dylan, it's just more defense, and you have enough guys already playing defense. You have Vando, you have Hayes, you have Smart, you have Lavera, who's getting in there and playing some good D. You just have enough guys that like already that's their job, that's what they're supposed to do, and you're gonna bring in Brooks, who is gonna foul for sure, and he's gonna show you, hey, I'm trying, but I don't think he's gonna solve the problem of making shots. You know, if you look at him at Memphis, if you looked at him
Right.
on the Houston Rockets, he did shoot the three ball pretty damn good. I will give
Oh
him that.
yeah.
But it's not until he became the second option on the Suns where he became this scorer, right?
Right.
And I like Dylan to a certain degree. I just don't know how that pairing would work with LeBron and a Luca and a Smart. I just don't know
Exactly.
how many lineups you can give to a guy like Dylan Brooks before he kind of gets messed up. I know the 21 points sound very, charming, and you're like, great. But
Mm-hmm.
this season, he's shooting a, right above what I consider bare minimum for myself, right? Like what I think a
Yeah.
player should shoot, 45%, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he's shooting about 35 from three. Okay. If he goes
Yeah.
to the Lakers, his shot attempt will go down. It's going to go from 17 down to about 9. Okay. So that means that 35% out of his 9, it's just, I'm not seeing
Mm-hmm.
the fit. I'm not seeing it, Mark. How would you envision him being able to solve those problems? That's what I'd ask.
Um, I don't know if you can. You know what I mean? Like, I think because
So why look?
yeah, I mean the three best players on the Lakers are all not, or they're not all defenders. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm just saying you might have to just take a shot because something's got to change. Like
Yeah.
they can't make baskets. So
But those are two different things, right? Making baskets and needing defense. You got to choose. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Especially if you have LeBron on your team who's older. You got to throw in those guys like Vando, where it's just like, hey, he's cool with getting 10 rebounds and 2 steals in 0 points.
right,
You know what I mean? Or Marcus Smart, who didn't get a call from anybody and was stuck on an island over there in Washington, right? They were like, yes, we're cool. And they're playing defense. And so if people just want shot making, they can have that. They can get that. But don't complain
right,
about defense then,
yeah,
because your
no,
top three guys aren't defenders. These are guys
nope,
that get, buckets.
right,
But
yeah, no, I
anyways,
feel that.
LeBron, I was reading, if he misses one more game, he will officially become ineligible for getting any awards this season. Do you feel like
Hmm.
that rule should be changed back, or how should they approach this?
Um, no, because it gives the players a reason to be out there on the floor, and that's what the NBA wants because they
Right.
want their money. They want the best players on the floor.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but I think it's a good rule. I mean, and for LeBron, I mean, he's been All NBA 21 out of his 23 years, 22 out of his 23 years.
Right.
At some point, it comes to an end. All the good things come to an end. But as a LeBron diehard fan, yeah, it sucks to see, but I mean, it's just that's life. I think. So no, I think the rule's fine. Because me as a fan, I want to see these players out on the floor,
Right.
and this is kind of, I don't want to say forces them to play, but I mean, really, it kind of does. So no, I don't think the rule should go anywhere. It just sucks,
Yeah.
but that's life. You know what I mean? So I'm sure it sucks for LeBron. Maybe it doesn't because like he's already came out and said that this is all extra credit at this point. So no, I don't think they should change the rule.
Yeah. I think they should.
Hmm.
I think they just need to get better at voting for those who are credited the votes.
That's fair.
Um, it's just unfortunate because if a guy was like killing for 50 games, right? I'm talking about 30, 12, and 6, right?
Hmm.
I don't think because this guy missed the last 30 games, right? When he just gave us 50 of them, right?
Yeah.
It should be like, oh, you know what? You're not eligible for this award. Now, if they run an investigation and see that they were purposely holding out this team, like the Atlanta Hawks are going to do with Trey Young, then
Hmm.
yeah, I think by all means strip away award, don't allow this, don't allow that. But
Yeah.
I think we just have to get better voters. I know before I read to you, I remember you were talking about competency, right? Competent voters.
Yeah. Just competent voters,
Yeah,
like
but
know how to vote.
but it's objective or subjective on like
Yeah.
who we
Yeah.
consider competent, right? Like
Hmm.
and so I think it just goes down to those voters. We just plead to them, hey, vote responsibly, okay? You know,
Hmm.
and that's all we can ask for. But
No, that's fair. Yeah, just vote responsibly. I
Mhm.
think that's a perfect way to put it.
Mhm.
I guess I could like see your side of that. And if they did go that route, then perfect. But
yeah,
I think it's been shown that sometimes they don't really vote to competently. Like they,
No.
you
Yeah.
know, they don't. So yeah, I guess I can get on your side of that for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like when we talk about voters and not making the best choices, I'll let you talk about the LeBron situation when he missed DPOY, but he was able
Oh
to
yeah,
make first
that's the
team.
only award he's missing in the trophy case is that DPOY from 2012 or 2012.
And
He was first team
there you
All
go.
NBA. Mark Gasol was second team, but yet Mark Gasol got Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
And has that ever happened? Besides that, like I can't think of a situation. Like maybe there is. I don't. I'm
I'd
not
have
too
to
caught
check.
up,
I
but
want to see what happened when Marcus
that
Smart
just seems
won.
a little. That just seems a little bias, I
Yeah,
guess, if you will, or
yeah.
just a little out of the ordinary.
No,
But yeah,
very.
I mean that's what we're talking about. It's like just be competent at voting, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the NBA is real weird sometimes. Like they, oh, I'm sorry for our mess up, so we'll give you this instead. We'll give you first team since we didn't give you
hmm
the. It's like, come on, man, have a backbone. If you guys feel this way, stand on it. But
yeah.
anyways, speaking of LeBron, right?
Mhm.
Should he also be voted into the All Star game?
That's a good question. I think from the NBA standpoint, I don't think you can have the All Star game without him, like without really
Mm.
destroying your ratings as bad as they
Mm.
are at the All Star game. You know what I
Y'all
mean?
hear this?
But at the same time,
Mm.
is he
Mark
putting
giving us
up
some content.
MVP numbers? I mean, he's getting what
20,
20.
22?
He's getting 22, 6, and 7 on 52%
Oh,
shooting.
real
And
quick,
then
wait.
since he ended his
You said
double
what?
digit streak, we're leaving that in 2025. And then since his and then
What's
since
that?
his double digit score no you're good. Since his double digit scoring streak, the man's been averaging 28, 7, 7 with 1.5 steals and 1.5 blocks. So total season numbers, are they all star? But like I just don't see how you can have it without him. But also remember last year, he was in it or he was voted in, and then day before he said no, never mind, I'm not playing in it. I'm hurt. So maybe that just hurt his morale. Like maybe that'll make the voters think twice about okay, should we really, But from the NBA standpoint, I don't think you can have it without him, especially for how bad it already is. But I
Yeah.
could see him. Yeah, I guess I could see him not making it. Do I think he's an all star? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
You know, I know you brought up the scoring stint. My only problem with that is like they've still been losing a lot of games even though he's doing that, right? So I
Mhm.
wouldn't say like this scoring stint is like saving their season or making them play better as a team. I think he still needs to cut back a little bit in order to see the best out of the team. As you get older, we don't want more from you, right? Because that's going to do
Mhm.
worse for the team. Now, playoffs come around. If he wants to go on that scoring tear, right, for the better of the team because the pace slows down, absolutely. I just don't think it's the most competent way to approach the game because you have 82 more of them. You know what I mean? It just it's not the best move at his age. As
Right.
far as being an all star, I think um, if he's voted in, absolutely. Like, I mean, he was well deserved. I think he will.
Mhm.
But the whole point, like we talked about the NFL, right? It's good in a way for Mahomes not to be there, Joe Burrow, and these other guys, um, because we get to see the new talent. We get to see how a new player is going to approach the game.
Yeah.
Um, I think what I
Kind
feel.
of sorry to interrupt, but kind of going back to like remember we were talking about no Mahomes, no Lamar, no Burrow. It kind of gives another reason to
That's
watch
what I
these
said.
other
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Oh, okay, sorry.
yeah. It gives the younger talent, more time to shine, right?
Hmm.
It gives a new spotlight. We get to see how players are developing and how these players are going to approach the game, or how they, celebrate when they're in the gym by themselves. Like this is
Absolutely,
their time,
absolutely. Yeah.
and so, it just more stuck. It more stinks sentimentally, because who doesn't want to see LeBron? Like you said.
But yeah,
Now,
right.
rating wise, uh, I think the All Star brings so much attention. It's not like the Pro Bowl where it's just like, man, like what are y'all doing? The All Star is something like it's dedicated for a whole weekend.
Mm,
And I think if LeBron's playing or not, I think people are tuning in no matter what. He never
yeah.
did the slam dunk contest, right? And Jordan was the
Hmm.
last like heavily watched player to really do it Kobe. I take that back. Kobe was.
Yeah,
But
Kobe
people were
was.
still watching the dunk contest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
so I don't think LeBron makes the All Star game. Unfortunately, I think that's the one
Yeah.
thing
I
he
mean,
doesn't run.
there's definitely a world where LeBron's on an All Star this year. I mean,
Yeah,
it goes back to what you were saying about like
I
how
think it's a
he only
slim
has one.
chance.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a slim chance probably, but there's definitely that's definitely a scenario that could happen. Like going back to when you were saying, does he deserve, or when he only has one more game left
Yeah.
that he can miss to, I mean that's just a sad reality. Like things don't last forever.
No,
So
for sure, for sure. And it just, it gives other players some time to kind of take advantage of the opportunity. I will
Mhm.
say though, on a quick note, I don't
Mhm.
like how Dylan Brooks necessarily takes advantage of this. Kind of turning chapters, where he kind of pokes at the bear, especially LeBron. I love the maybe the attitude. Like he's that type of player I would love on my team, but hate to play against him. And I just don't respect him,
Mhm.
like knowing like
Like a
LeBron that
Pat
his
Bev.
yeah, but worse in my opinion. Pat Bev, like he's gonna poke you, but it's like still like basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't see.
Dylan's being like childish about it and like
Yeah, I mean
dramatic,
he's real
almost like dramatic.
facetious. It's just like man, whatever. Like I can't even
Facetious. Ooh, hey, spell that.
facetious. You know what I mean? But I think players like Dylan Brooks, I think they're ubiquitous. I think they're everywhere. You can find them easily.
I like that.
Thank you. Hey, I just had to pull
Facetious,
out another one just so you.
ridiculous.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm. I'm
And
gonna have you spell these
thank you.
like
And,
next pod.
and
Like,
I think Dylan's career has been a circuitous route to where he's
bro, you
got now.
playing, bro?
I swear, these are all real. These are all real. I'm pulling out my Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
But no, should the Lakers look at MPJ? I gotta ask that before we close.
Um. Yeah. Like I think that's definitely a better option than Dylan Brooks.
Oh, I agree.
So I would 100% get on board with MPJ.
But
I think what's he getting right
real
now?
quick,
He get
is he the best move, or you would just rather have them look at him over Dylan? Because if you're like I just like MPJ better than Dylan, and there's a better move, what is the best move, Mark? That's my real question.
I think MPJ. He's getting 26 right now, 7, 4 assists, shooting 50%. So
So what do you give up
I would
to get him?
probably Austin because I mean at
Oh,
that
you
point
don't like him?
Austin would become the 4. So I think you got to give up Austin and maybe a pick.
You just
But
move
what are
off
your
him just
thoughts?
like that?
I mean, if they something's got to change. I know Austin hasn't been playing, but I mean, I think MPJ's has a higher ceiling.
And so you would never flirt with the idea of maybe LeBron just needs to go to another team.
Um, if he's ready to retire, like maybe like Cleveland, but I don't see that happening.
I mean, I can't keep I mean, I'm sorry. I can't think to myself like trading what Austin was just doing with Luca before LeBron got back. I
Oh
can't
yeah, no,
I
he
can't
was
sit with that idea like,
balling.
hey, let's let's stay with the older guy and get rid of the younger
Mhm.
guy who's showing potential as well, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no signs saying that Austin can't average 25, right? I think there's
Hmm.
more signs showing that he can. He's learned how to draw fouls. He can shoot the ball. He's got a handle. Why give up? Like if you were to sell Austin over LeBron, it's easy sell, you know?
Right.
You
No,
know,
yeah, you're right. That's true.
I just think it'd make more sense to trade the older guy who can only do so much. And this isn't a knock on him, by the way. LeBron is an all-time great, bona fide
Yeah.
number 2 for me, right? Um, but I just think that's kind of tough just to hear you say like, "Hey, we're getting rid of Austin."
No, I know, but like if they were to get MPJ, Austin becomes the 4. I would think because you can't just waste that potential with MPJ as the 4. I mean, it just and Austin's the only movable piece, so it sucks because Austin's balling. I'm just saying if that's the scenario,
Yeah.
you probably have to move Austin.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if MPJ is the best or not. He's definitely better than Dylan Brooks, a better option than Dylan Brooks. So I would lean towards. I would not even lean. I would say yeah. I would shoot for MPJ over Dylan, but I would think it'd have to cost you Austin.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Well, Mark, is there anything else you want to say about this Lakers team before we wrap it up?
Man, make some shots, play some defense. LeBron's got to be held accountable. I mean, he is playing really good basketball, so I'm not saying he's not.
Yes.
He still has to be held accountable. Luca has to be playing better because now he's out of the MVP race when he was the front runner. So that's all I got to say. I think they'll fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for the Lakers, really.
I gotcha. Well, to wrap things up, I don't think the Lakers should take a look at MPJ. Okay.
Okay.
I think they should just, figure out things internally, sit down player meetings. JJ
Hmm.
Redick has to, just do a better job leaving his footprint on the game.
Hmm.
And just, giving clear cut rules, roles, expectations, because I think there's a little bit too much of this free flowing basketball going on, where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, we have our top guys, they do as they want, and they'll direct you as
Yeah.
well.
It's too star relied
Oh,
on.
for
You know,
sure.
what
Yeah,
am I
no,
trying
for
to
sure.
say?
Yeah, it's star
I don't
ball.
want to say star. Yeah, star ball. Like they're
Well, it
relying
is.
on
I
the
mean,
stars to make plays,
their
and if they
last game,
don't,
their last game was 30 and 30. LeBron had 30. Luca had 30, or not their last game, the game before that, right?
yeah.
I
And
mean,
then their bench scoring too is awful. It's like
yes,
worse than the
but
league, I
they
think.
got Luca. Redick has to have that sit down conversation with them. Hey, listen, okay, Luca's number one. LeBron, you're gonna play second fiddle, and from there on, Austin, you get your looks. Vando, easy cuts, smart open jump shots, right? Aiden, if you can get in the mix too, that'd be great. Hit a nice midi, get
Hmm.
in the paint, use your body. I know he's skinny, but I don't think MPJ is going to fix anything. I think it's just more to talk about. MPJ is a loose cannon as well. He's not afraid to say things on camera. We've seen that on his own stream, his podcast, even when he was on the Nuggets. He did not like playing second fiddle to Jamal Murray, like actually many other players don't for some reason. Bones Highland was quoted saying that as well.
Hmm.
And I think he respects Jokic, but he also wanted to be at least number two or tied for a main option scoring role with them. But
Yeah,
this will
that's fair.
conclude our podcast number 2. Super excited that everybody tunes in.
Yes, sir.
Please leave a
Um,
like, comment,
mhm.
subscribe. Let us know what you guys did like, what you didn't like. Let us know if Mark's hat made a difference on his forehead or not.
Hey, bro.
Whose mustache looks better. Mark, get a little bit closer. Let the camera.
Hey, leave a comment asking Bowen how to spell those big words he was saying.
Oh man.
I didn't even
See,
know what they meant. I
well,
took them as disrespect.
hey, Mark, I'm meticulous with the words that I choose.
All right, bro.
Meticulously
Close it out, bro.
chose these words.
Close it out. Close it.
He said, close it up. Deuces.